Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Shyler. Today we're going to be learning how to make the granny square halter top. For those who have watched my videos before, you know very well that I love the granny square pattern and I can turn it into anything that I want. So today we are going to be learning how to make this top. It was a request from two of my followers on Instagram. So when I got an order, I decided to record it for you guys. You can see it's a very pretty simple top. So I'll be taking you through each and every step. And for the materials, you'll need any medium weight yarn. So I'll be using Robin 100% acrylic, but I'll be doubling my yarn to achieve a medium weight look because it's a fingering yarn. It's very thin. So I'll be doubling my strand, and then I'll be using a pair of scissors, of course, and then a 3.5mm crochet hook. So that's all you'll need for this. And then also you'll need a measuring tape. You'll need a measuring tape. We are going to take some measurements for our top. So this top is going to be divided into 4 parts. The first part is to determine the shape of the top, the general shape. Then we shall be determining the width, and then we shall be determining the height, and then we shall be doing full coverage, and then the edging. Those are the 5 steps of this top. So the first thing that we are going to do is to measure the widest part of our rib cage. So for me that is 29 inches, and then you're going to subtract 4 inches, which will bring me to 25 inches. And so let's get started. Okay, for this project we are going to need 3 colors, at least for me. These are the colors that I'm going to be using, and there are different shades of brown. There's this, then there's this, then there's this. So I want the flow of these colors to appear in my top. So let me put this aside. I'm going to be starting with this, and I'm going to be doubling my strand. So for our very first row, you're going to make a slip knot. You're going to grab your 3.5mm crochet hook, then you're going to make a slip knot, and then you're going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to go into the very first chain that you made with a double crochet, and then 2 more double crochets in that same space. So that's a total of 3 double crochets in that very last chain, this very first chain that we made, sorry. Then you're going to chain up 2 and then place 3 more double crochets in that very chain. So your work should look like this. And then you're going to chain up 1 and go into that very chain with a double crochet. So that marks the end of row 1. There's a space here, there's a space here, and there's a space here. So we're going to row 2. So you'll chain up 4. So all your rows will start with a chain 4. Turn your work and then place 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space. So the chain 4 at the beginning counts as 1 double crochet, chain 1. So after this you'll chain up 1 and then go into the chain 2 space with 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So that will be our shell for this pattern. Whenever I say a shell, you'll know it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So that's what we place in every chain 2 space. And then you're going to chain up 1 and go into the very last chain 1 space, because remember we have a chain 4 here, so that means that's a double crochet chain 1. So go into that chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 1 last double crochet in that same space. So since the beginning of every row is chain 4, which counts as 1 double crochet chain 1, we have to also bring it back to this side and do chain 1, 1 double crochet, because we are balancing what's happening on this side onto the other side. So after this will be the end of my first dark color. I'm going to chain up 1, cut my yarn. I'm going to chain up 1, cut my yarn, and that marks the end of the very first color. I'm going to be doing 2 rows of each and every color. So I'm getting my second color, which will be the next brown. I'm going to put away this for the meantime until I need it again. So I'm going to grab my next brown, and then make a slip knot. Then I'm going to go to where I left off with the brown here, and then I'll insert my hook in that very last double crochet that I made and attach my next brown. So after that, you're going to chain up 4. Remember I told you every row begins with a chain 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1. Then after this, you're going to go into the chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Like that. And then chain 1. This is a chain 1 space, so it will get 3 double crochets, chain 1. This is a chain 2 space, so the chain 2 space gets a shell, so that is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in that same chain 2 space. And then you're going to chain up 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and go into the very last space with 3 double crochets, and then remember every row ends with chain 1 and 1 last double crochet in that very last space. So you can see the triangle shape has started working out, and now we are going to row 4, and for row 4 there's nothing different. You're going to start off with chain 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, turn your work, 3 double crochets in that very first chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. So I'll say this again, every chain 1 space will get 3 double crochets, chain 1, then 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, then this is a chain 2 space because we are in the exact middle of our work. So the exact middle gets a shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. So after this, you're going to chain 1 and go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space, which is the very last space, with 3 double crochets. Then after this, you're going to chain up 1 and place 1 last double crochet in that very last space. So this is what we have. And now after your second row of the second color, you're going to chain up 1, cut your yarn, and you're going to attach a third color, which is the very light brown. So you're going to grab your next color. I don't know what colors you chose to use, but you're going to go onto your next color and then attach the same exact way we attached this. So go into this last double crochet and attach with a slip knot, with a slip stitch, sorry. So after this, you're going to chain up 4 because that's what we do at the beginning of every row. Go into the very first chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and in the chain 2 space we shall place a shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets, all in that same space. So we are on the other side now. So chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the last space, and after this you're going to chain up 1 and then place 1 last double crochet in that same space, because that's what we do at the end of every row. And now you can see the triangular shape building up. We are going to repeat this until we get the measurement that we got at the beginning. So I told you to measure around your rib cage, or actually that applies to a size small, but you're going to measure around the biggest the widest part of your rib cage. So for me, that is 28 inches, 28 to 29, and then you subtract 4 inches. So I'll consider 29. So I'll subtract 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want 25 inches here at the base of my triangle. So whatever you got for the widest part of your rib cage, subtract 4 inches, and then what you remain with, you're going to consider that measurement at the base of your triangle. You're going to keep building this triangle until you get that measurement that you got after subtracting 4 inches from it, because we don't want the top to meet totally at the back. We want to leave room for us to put a strap that's going to be laced up. So for me it's 25 inches, so I'm going to keep working my triangle until I have 25 inches at the base of my triangle. So let me go off camera and do that, and when I get done with that, I'll be back to give you more instructions. So we are back, and I did a total of 16 rows to get the measurement that I needed, which was 25 inches. So you can see from this end, which is at 0, all the way to this end can stretch to 25 inches. So after that, we are going to start doing something different. That means we have achieved the width of the top that we need. Meaning we are no longer going to extend our top to the sides. That's done. Now what we are going to do is to increase the height of our top. We are now focusing on the height. If this is the height that you wanted your top to be, like super cropped, then this is not for you. You're going to skip over this part, and then you'll go to part 3. So for the part 2 is for those people who don't want their top to be cropped. So I'm going to get my next color, which will be this one. And for the next rows, we are going to be building on the height of our top so that it's not so short. So for those people who don't want very short tops, this is for you. You will attach your yarn where you left off with the previous color. So here, the same exact way that we've been attaching. Like that. And then you're going to chain up 3. Not 4 this time, 3. And then go skip over all this and go into this chain 1 space and place 3 double crochets. So that's the change for this row. We are no longer working in that last space. So after this, you're going to do the same exact thing that we've been doing. Chain 1, place 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, all the way up to the top of the triangle and then down. So everything here remains the same. You come down, and I'll meet you when you're at this point. So here we are. You can see I went all the way up, and when I reached the peak of the triangle, I did the same exact thing that we've been doing, placing a shell at the very top of the triangle in the chain 2, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then went all the way down, placing 3 double crochets in each and every chain 1 space, separated by a chain 1. So after that, you're going to move all the way down until you have this cluster left. So at this point, you're going to just yarn over and go into the very last space where you would have placed 3 double crochets. So this time we're not going to chain 1 here. You're going to just go directly into that space with a double crochet. So we're trying to balance what we did here. Remember, here we just chained 3 and then started working, skipped over this and started working. So we're doing the same exact thing on this side. So the chain 3 here counts as a double crochet. So that's why we've done a double crochet at this point. So after this, for the next row, you're going to chain up 3. We are no longer chaining 4. So chain 3, turn your work, skip over this, and then go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So that's all we are going to be doing. So you can see that our top has stopped increasing to the sides because we've already achieved the length that we need on this side. So right now we are making this side flat and then increasing our height of the top. So I'm going to go all the way up and then down, place our shell here at this point, go all the way down, and when you get to this point, you're going to place your 3 double crochets and then chain, 3 double crochets, then don't chain anything, just go into this very last space with a double crochet, and then keep repeating these rows until you get the height of the top that you want. If you want full coverage, that's up to you, but these rows are going to increase the height of your top. So go on and keep working this, and then I'll meet you guys when I have the desired height that I need. Okay, so I decided to do a total of 4 rows to increase the height of my top. So let me take a measurement from the very top to the bottom of my top, and then I'll let you know how many inches I have. So 0, around 14 to 15 inches. I don't want to stretch it so much because I know we are going to be pulling it to the side. So it's around 14 inches in total from the very tip of the triangle. So that will be fine for me. It's from my collarbone down to my belly button. So this is what I want to do. And for the next part, which is part 3 of this top, we are going to be creating coverage for our top. I know this is kind of not so covered up. It's covered up for maybe the smaller sizes, but for the larger sizes, I don't think so. So we're going to get our yarn. We're going to continue to make this side flat to go up like this, but then also we're going to introduce that at the very top because we've achieved the height that we want. That means we are no longer going up like this. We are not building onto this anymore. So you're going to get your yarn, whatever color you're using. This is my next color. And then I'm going to attach it here at the base of my triangle. So I told you that we are still going flat on this side. So you chain up 3, skip over all this and go into the chain 1 space. So you can see the effect it's creating. It's no longer increasing to this side. So after that, you're going to chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So continue to do that until you get to this hole here, just before the shell, and I'll show you what to do from there. Okay, so I've gone all the way up to this point just before the shell, and now we are not going to chain 1, we are going to go directly into this chain 2 space with a double crochet like that, and then you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work. So we are going to first work on one side and then we shall come back to this side and do the same exact thing. So you can see this side is becoming flat and we are introducing that same concept here at the top of the triangle. It's going to start coming to this side because we've already achieved the length that we want for our top. So we are now making this flat. So after you chain 3, turn and then go into the next chain 1 space. So you're going to skip this and go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and you're going to keep repeating this up to when we get here. And when you get here, you're going to place your 3 double crochets and directly go into that last space with a double crochet, just like we've been doing for these rows. So we want this side flat, and then I'll meet you guys when I have that. So I'm coming to the end of this row and I'm placing my very last 3 double crochets, and then I'll directly go into this last space with a double crochet, and then I'm going to chain up 1 and cut my yarn since I'm done with this color. And this is how our work looks like now. You can see this. It has started becoming flat at the top, but it's continuing to be flat in the sides. So I'm going to attach my next color and continue to make this flat, and also continue to make this flat. Remember, the way to do that is just to skip over this. After placing your last 3 double crochets here, skip over this and directly go into this space with a double crochet like that. And then when you're beginning your row, you chain up 3 and then skip over this and then double crochet 3 times at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and do some more rows, and then I'll show you how my work will look like after that. So I've gone ahead to do a total of 4 rows. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 for the coverage, and then this side is flat. So we're going to attach our yarn at this point and continue to do the same exact thing, just to balance what we did on this side onto this side. So you can see we had left off on this color and the next color was this, and so I'm going to grab that same color this one, and I'm going to attach it to the very corner of my triangle. So at this point, at the top of this chain 3, that's where I'm going to attach it with a slip stitch, and then chain up 3 and go skip this and go into the chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, because we are maintaining this flat effect on the sides, just like we did here. So we are bringing back the same exact thing here, and we are going to go all the way up until you get here. And when you get here, you're going to place 3 double crochets and then directly go into this top chain 2 with a double crochet, because we are making it flat. So if you don't remember what to do, just rewind the video and come back to this point, and then do the same exact thing and balance both sides, and I'll meet you guys when we have both sides balancing. So I've managed to balance both sides, and you should be having something like this. It's now even. This is the exact middle. The right side is the same as the left side. So now from here, we're going to do something right now. We are going to get rid of all these tails, and the way I want to do that is by tying off. Now I kept joining from the point where I left off with the previous color, so I'll just go and tie a total of 2 to 3 knots very tight, and then I cut them off. So make sure you're a bit neat. Very tight knots. You can do 2 or 3. And you can see what that has created. They don't look that good, but after we do the finishing, it will be perfectly fine. So go ahead and keep tying and cutting off those small tails. So now that I've finished getting rid of all the tails that were hanging around, you're going to determine your edging color, and for me it's going to be this dark one because I always want the dark colors to be at the edge. This is because for crochet most of the braid colors get dirty on the edges, so for me the edging color will be this dark brown, the darkest color in my color combination. That will be my edging color. So I'm going to attach my yarn in this space, this very first space here, and I'm going to do a slip stitch here, and then I'm going to chain up 1 and half double crochet in that same exact space. So I'm going to go in between the stitches. So between this and this, I make a half double crochet, and then between this and this, I make a half double crochet. I'm not going into the stitches, I'm going in between the stitches. Then in the chain 1 space, I make a half double crochet. So continue to do that all the way up. So I'm going to go all the way up to here, and then I'll meet you at that point. So I'm coming to the upper part of my top, and after placing these 2 half double crochets, we are at this part where the stitches are flat, where the top becomes flat. So in this space, you're going to place a total of 5 half double crochets. These are 4 and then 5, and then place a total of 3 double crochets in each and every double crochet space for the next ones. So 3 half double crochets, we are just creating an edging for our top, and when you come to the exact center, you're going to place 1 double crochet and then go into the next space with 3 half double crochets. Sorry, this was a half double crochet. 1 half double crochet and then 3 in the next, then 3 in the next, 3 in the next, and in the very last one here, you're going to place a total of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then now we are going down, so in between the stitches with 1 half double crochet in every space and 1 half double crochet in the chain 1 spaces. So we're going all the way down. So we're doing the same exact thing that we did on this side onto this side. So go all the way down and finish up until this point, because we started this at this point. Alright, so we are at this corner, and we're going to place a total of 3 half double crochets. So I had placed 1, then 2, then 3. Then you're going to place 3 more half double crochets in that space. This will give us a turn, and then go into each and every half double crochet space with a total of 3 half double crochets in each double crochet space with a total of 3 half double crochets. So after this, you're going to place 2 more half double crochets in this corner so that we can turn, and then you're going to chain up 3 and go into this very space with a total of 3 double crochets and then single crochet in the next space. And then chain up 3. Place 1 single crochet in the next space, chain up 3, and then double crochet 3 times in that same space, single crochet in the next space, single crochet in the next space, chain up 3, double crochet 3 times in that same space. So we are going to repeat this until the end of the row. So this, go into the next space with a single crochet once in the next space, chain up 3, double crochet 3 times in that same space. So this will create those scallops. So I'm going to go ahead and keep repeating this until the end of my row, and then I'll meet you guys when I have this ready. So I'm done with my scallops, and now I'm coming to this side. I'll just continue to place 3 half double crochets in each double crochet space, just like we did on the other side. So that's the same exact thing that I'm doing on this side, up to when I get to that point where we started the half double crochet row. So I'm almost there, and we started our row at this point and we placed 1 half double crochet. So we're going to place a total of 4 more because we want 5 so that we can have a turn. And then you're going to go into the very first half double crochet that you made with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn. So this marks the end of our edging, and this is how it looks like. So the next thing that we are going to do is to attach straps, and for the straps we are just going to make very long ones that are going to go behind to make an X, and then keep weaving through these spaces that we've created. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So grab your same yarn. It's going to be the same yarn for the straps. make a slip knot, then grab one of the corners of this top. So attach your yarn, chain 3, double crochet in that same space, chain 3, double crochet in the space between these two, chain 3, double crochet in between the 2 stitches below. So that's all we are going to keep repeating, and we are going to do 2 straps, 2 very long straps. So I'll let you know how many segments of this that I made, but you're going to have to make sure they're really long. So continue to do this. I'll let you know how many segments of this that I made. So I ended up doing a total of 60 segments for my straps, and now we are going to turn our work to the wrong side. This is the right side of our work where we want people to see. So the wrong side of your work, and we are going to grab our straps and crisscross them, so like this. So make an X at the back and go into the very first loop there, and then the very first on this side. So this entirely depends on you, on your preference. The way you lace up this really depends on what you want to achieve. So after this, you're going to skip 2 gaps, and then into the third you will lace up again, so 2, and then into the third. So you can put in every other loop, but I don't want to do that because it will be so crowded at the back. So this is all I want to do for my straps. I don't want to overcrowd the back side of my top with strings, so this is enough. If you need to lace it up more, then that means you had to make a very long strap so that you can accommodate every other hole. Then after this, you will just tie this, and yeah, that marks the end of our top. This is the final product. And I hope you really liked this tutorial, because it has been a request for many, though many people who are requesting for it were asking for fringes, but I didn't want to do fringes. You can always do that. I just wanted a simple granny square top, which I had to pair up with my shorts, so I decided to do this tutorial. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for all the love and support that you give me every single day. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.